Bridget!
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Now, you don't like doing these talk show things, huh?
No.
You don't?
No. Look at this. This is like a circus. You're the lion tamer. It's true. Everything with peanuts and everything.
Once the golden face of 90s Hollywood, Bridget Fonda, the star of Single White Female and Jackie Brown, suddenly vanished from the screen at the peak of her career. Without a word of farewell, without a trace, she stepped away from the spotlight and quietly withdrew into the shadows. 2 decades later, her unexpected reappearance amid the swirling scandal surrounding her husband, musician Danny Elfman, left the public stunned and curious. What happened to Bridget Fonda? What is the truth behind her decision to abandon the glory of a major star? Early life. Behind that sudden disappearance, were there invisible pressures weighing on Bridget Fonda from the moment she was born? Born on January 27, 1964, in Los Angeles, California, Bridget Fonda was no ordinary child. She was the daughter of legendary actor Peter Fonda, the granddaughter of cinematic icon Henry Fonda, and the niece of screen queen Jane Fonda. From her earliest days, the glow of the Fonda lineage loomed over her like a colossal shadow, both dazzlingly brilliant and hauntingly heavy. The Fonda family is an enduring monument of American cinema. Henry Fonda, Bridget's grandfather, stunned the film world with unforgettable performances in 12 Angry Men and The Grapes of Wrath. He even won an Oscar late in his career for the timeless classic On Golden Pond. Meanwhile, Jane Fonda, Bridget's aunt, was not only a talented actress, but also a renowned social activist who earned 2 Academy Awards. As for Peter Fonda, Bridget's father, he made waves with the counterculture classic Easy Rider. Born into a family with such a rich artistic legacy, Bridget Fonda could not escape sky-high expectations. Peter Fonda once candidly remarked that for his daughter to succeed in her career, she would have to climb Everest 4 times, once for each great member of their family, and once for herself. This statement was not merely a reminder of the family's monumental achievements, but an implicit acknowledgement of the immense pressure Bridget carried on her shoulders. Growing up in such a distinguished family, Bridget Fonda was constantly compared and measured against her father, aunt, and grandfather. Instead of serving as motivation, these expectations sometimes became an invisible burden, leaving her in a perpetual state of insecurity and self-doubt. Bridget admitted on many occasions that even after achieving significant success, she was haunted by questions like, "Am I good enough? Do I truly deserve the Fonda name?" Bridget's early life was a journey full of contradictions, wrapped in the luxury of Hollywood but never free from the pressures of her family's legacy. On one hand, she had the perfect launch pad that thousands of actors could only dream of. On the other, there was the weight of those towering shadows, the shadows of performers whose names were etched into the history of cinema. This is also why Bridget carried an invisible unease. Each step in her career felt like walking a tightrope, precarious and full of challenges. Behind the radiant smile on screen and the celebrated roles, Bridget Fonda was a woman constantly battling to escape her family's shadow and assert her own identity. When reflecting on Bridget's beginnings, one cannot help but wonder, was it the pressure of her family's legacy that pushed her onto a turbulent path, ultimately leading her to step away from the spotlight in search of peace? But before Bridget said goodbye to Hollywood, she made strong and ambitious strides. Her early roles were a powerful answer to every skeptical gaze, and it was then that she began to write her own story, one of effort, talent, and unexpected turning points. Early career. Born into immense pressure and towering expectations, Bridget Fonda refused to let the Fonda family's brilliance obscure the path she chose. Instead of relying on her legendary name, she was determined to build her own career, step by step, a journey that began modestly, but laid the groundwork for her eventual breakthrough. Bridget made her first on-screen appearance in 1969 in the iconic film Easy Rider, starring and co-written by her father, Peter Fonda. At the time, she was just a child, a fleeting yet symbolic presence. In a family where art flowed through their veins, this first step seemed like a sign of destiny that cinema would become her chosen path. Entering the 1980s, Bridget began experimenting with minor roles in films like Aria, 1987, and You Can't Hurry Love, 1988. Though diligent and full of effort, she struggled to make a strong impression. At that time, Hollywood's attention remained fixed on her father, the man who revolutionized American cinema with Easy Rider. This led many to question, does Bridget have what it takes to step out of the enormous shadow of the Fonda family? The answer arrived in 1990 when she was unexpectedly cast in The Godfather Part 3, the final chapter of Francis Ford Coppola's legendary trilogy. In the film, Bridget portrayed Grace Hamilton, a character with limited screen time but immense personal significance. It wasn't just about the grandeur of the Godfather series, it marked the first time Bridget stood alongside some of the most celebrated names in film history. What few people know is that her role in The Godfather Part 3 did not come easily. Walking into the audition room, Bridget carried a profound fear. The worry that she was only being considered because of her last name. However, Francis Ford Coppola himself dispelled those doubts, stating, "She is more than a name. I chose her because she has the makings of a star." For the first time, Bridget Fonda realized that her true talent had been seen and acknowledged. This role marked the beginning of a new chapter in Bridget's career. From an actress doubted for her abilities, she began to attract the attention of major directors, no longer viewed simply as Peter Fonda's daughter. It was the first step toward breaking free from her family's shadow and writing her own story. Perhaps The Godfather Part 3 didn't bring Bridget immediate stardom, but it provided her with an essential boost in confidence to move forward, stronger and more assured. Like a mountain climber, she had planted her first step on her own Mount Everest, ready to push forward on the path to greatness where the spotlight awaited her. From this moment on, Hollywood began to witness a different Bridget Fonda, a rising star full of potential, poised to enter the most brilliant stage of her career. Bridget Fonda's successful career. In 1992, her first major breakthrough came with Single White Female, which propelled her into the ranks of A-list actresses. The role of Allison Jones, a young woman stalked and threatened by her roommate, not only showcased Bridget's exceptional acting, but also established her as a bankable box office star. The film earned 5 times its production budget and left an indelible impression on audiences. A beautiful and powerful actress capable of expressing every shade of emotion, from vulnerability and fear to resilience and defiance. Building on that success, Bridget continued to challenge herself with diverse and distinct roles. In 1993, she reappeared in Point of No Return, the American remake of the French action classic La Femme Nikita. Transforming into a cold-blooded yet alluring assassin, she stunned audiences with her ability to embody edgy roles that demanded both emotional depth and action skills. Bridget's career entered a new chapter in 1997 when she collaborated with Quentin Tarantino in Jackie Brown. Although she played a supporting role, Melanie, a carefree and cunning young woman, under Tarantino's direction, Bridget infused the character with unique energy. The small role garnered critical praise, further proving her ability to transform herself for any part. In 1998, success came knocking again with A Simple Plan, a film often regarded as the pinnacle of her career. The movie earned a 90% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes and stood out as one of the decade's best works. With her nuanced and authentic performance, Bridget earned recognition from critics and audiences alike as a true talent, transcending the shadow of the Fonda legacy. However, Hollywood has never been a place where the spotlight is easily maintained. By the late 1990s, Bridget began to stagnate as several of her films fell short of expectations. In 1999, Lake Placid, a horror comedy intended to restore her star power, turned into a bitter disappointment. Not only did it underperform at the box office, but it also drew harsh criticism. CNN bluntly called it a film neither scary nor funny, with Bridget Fonda's stiff acting making it all the more regrettable. Disappointment continued when, in 2001, the stop-motion animated film Monkey Bone became a box office disaster. With a budget of $75 million but earning only $7.6 million, the film became a true bomb, pushing Bridget into a crisis phase. That setback was not the end. Amid a faltering career, a chance for redemption unexpectedly arrived when David E. Kelley, the creative mind behind several hit series, offered Bridget the lead role in Ally McBeal. Yet instead of seizing the opportunity, Bridget declined. At the time, television was still seen as a second-tier platform compared to film, and shifting to TV seemed like a step backward in her career. The role eventually went to Callista Flockhart, who turned Ally McBeal into a global television phenomenon and catapulted her own name to new heights. The regret only deepened as Hollywood began to change. The gap between television and film started to close, but Bridget missed the opportunity to redefine her career. The peak of her success was soon replaced by consecutive failures and a mistimed decision. From one of Hollywood's brightest stars, Bridget Fonda began to fade in the face of a rising wave of young talent. But perhaps it was Hollywood's harshness and her missteps that led her to a critical crossroads, a place where Bridget would make a decision that shocked the world, to walk away from the spotlight entirely in search of a life of true peace. Personal life. In 2003, Bridget Fonda's life took a tragic turn when she was involved in a harrowing car accident on the Pacific Coast Highway. On a rainy day, her Jaguar lost control, veered off the road, and slid down an embankment. The impact was so severe that Bridget fractured 2 vertebrae. No one could have predicted that a single moment of lost control would put her career into a state of permanent suspension. The accident not only inflicted physical pain, but also stole her opportunity to return to the screen. It forced her to step back, retreat from the stage, and embark on a new journey, the pursuit of peace outside the glaring lights of Hollywood. Just a few months after this ordeal, in November 2003, Bridget Fonda married Danny Elfman, the legendary composer behind iconic film scores such as The Nightmare Before Christmas, Batman, and Edward Scissorhands. Their wedding was private and understated, reflecting the way Bridget chose to face life after the accident. In 2005, they welcomed their first child, Oliver Elfman. From then on, Bridget virtually disappeared from public life, stepping into the background to become a devoted wife and mother. She chose a quiet existence with her family in Santa Barbara, far removed from the controversies and pressures of the spotlight that had once weighed so heavily on her shoulders. However, what seemed like a tranquil life was once again disrupted by storms surrounding her husband, Danny Elfman. In 2017, Elfman became embroiled in a scandal when pianist Nomi Abadi accused him of sexual harassment, including inappropriate behavior and nudity during their professional collaboration. The case ended with an $830,000 settlement, but its repercussions continued to echo in public discourse. Questions arose about Danny Elfman's character and whether Bridget Fonda was aware of these troubles. The scandal appeared to settle, but in 2023, a new lawsuit emerged. This time, the accuser was an anonymous woman, Jane Doe XX. According to the lawsuit, the misconduct occurred in 1997, when she was just 21 years old and a student at the New York Film Academy. Jane Doe X alleged that Danny Elfman exploited their mentor-student relationship to engage in inappropriate behavior, including nudity and harassment while she was asleep. Her testimony reignited public outrage, not only exposing a troubling past for Danny Elfman, but also raising further questions about Bridget Fonda's silence. Notably, throughout her husband's scandals, Bridget Fonda has maintained complete silence. No statements, no defenses, no explanations. She has continued to distance herself from the media. Her silence only deepened public curiosity. Is Bridget quietly enduring these storms, or is she simply trying to protect her family's privacy? While Danny Elfman battles the allegations through his legal team, Bridget remains steadfast in her choice, avoiding the scrutiny of the public eye and living as a shadow in a world full of noise. Bridget Fonda's reappearance in 2022, after more than a decade of disappearance, stunned both the media and fans alike. Coinciding with the resurgence of Danny Elfman's scandal, this sudden reemergence became even more significant. Some speculated that it was a sign she was ready to confront public scrutiny, but Bridget silenced everyone once again by refusing to make any comment. To many, this choice was proof that Bridget Fonda had completely turned her back on her past. The fame, the spotlight, and even the responsibility to speak out amid her husband's controversies. Yet, to those who truly understand her, it was a courageous decision. In a world where scandals can erupt with a single click, Bridget chose to step back and live for herself and her family. It may not satisfy public curiosity, but it is the life she has chosen to embrace after a series of unexpected turns. From a radiant Hollywood star to a woman standing at the heart of controversy yet maintaining her calm, Bridget Fonda has shown one thing. Sometimes silence is the most powerful answer. While Danny Elfman continues to face legal storms, Bridget remains an enigma, a woman who once had it all but chose to walk away from a world many believed she would belong to forever. There is one more thing that few may remember. Before her marriage to Danny Elfman, Bridget Fonda's personal life was often a subject of public and media interest. Undeniably, her beauty and talent made her one of the most sought-after actresses, both on screen and in her romantic life. One of her most notable relationships was with actor Eric Stoltz, the star of Pulp Fiction and Mask. Their relationship spanned 8 years throughout the 1990s, a duration long enough for many to believe that Bridget and Eric would eventually marry. Eric was regarded as sensitive, talented, and someone who shared Bridget's artistic rhythm. However, despite attending significant events together and being considered one of Hollywood's golden couples at the time, they quietly ended their relationship without revealing the real reason behind their split. After her relationship with Eric Stoltz, Bridget had a brief but much publicized romance with country singer Dwight Yoakam. At the time, Dwight was one of the biggest names in country music, known for his rugged, masculine charm. Yet their relationship did not last long and ended abruptly. The media offered many speculations, but both chose to remain silent, making the breakup all the more mysterious. These pre-marriage relationships not only depicted a passionate and magnetic Bridget, but also revealed another side of her, an independent, resolute woman who refused to be swayed by public opinion. Despite the rumors, Bridget always maintained a private space, separating her public life from her personal affairs. This was perhaps why, when she met Danny Elfman, the man who would become her life partner, Bridget decided to step into that marriage with quiet grace and tranquility, leaving behind the unnecessary noise. Legacy and influence. Although Bridget Fonda chose to step away from the spotlight, the legacy she left behind remains as valuable as ever. As one of the most talented faces of the 1990s, she made a lasting impression through roles of significant depth and impact. Single White Female was not only a commercial success, but also helped define the psychological thriller genre, elevating Bridget's name to stardom. Meanwhile, A Simple Plan stands as a testament to her nuanced acting and emotional depth, making the film a critically acclaimed classic that continues to be celebrated today. Bridget Fonda also serves as a poignant example of Hollywood's unforgiving nature. Behind the glittering lights lies relentless pressure, from maintaining appearances to sacrificing personal life for career success. Her sudden disappearance from the screen serves as a haunting reminder of the price of fame and the power of personal choice. Without the need for dozens of roles or major awards, Bridget is still remembered as an icon of talent, beauty, and quiet determination. A star who shone brightly but disappeared with such subtlety that she continues to inspire curiosity and regret. Current life. Once a symbol of beauty and talent in the 1990s, Bridget Fonda now lives a completely different life. Simple, quiet, and far removed from the glitz of Hollywood. After nearly 2 decades away from the spotlight, she, along with her husband, musician Danny Elfman, and their son Oliver, moved to a peaceful ranch in Santa Barbara. Selling their luxurious Los Angeles mansion during the COVID-19 pandemic further reinforced Bridget's decisive choice to embrace a life centered on simplicity, away from the relentless noise of the entertainment world. However, in 2022 and 2023, Bridget was unexpectedly spotted in a few rare public appearances, leaving both the media and fans stunned. Far from the graceful beauty she once was, Bridget now appears with a completely different look. Silver hair, a fuller figure, and loose, comfortable clothing. These images sparked mixed reactions. Some expressed shock at her drastic transformation, while others admired her courage and composure in embracing herself, refusing to conform to Hollywood's harsh standards. When asked by paparazzi about the possibility of returning to acting, Bridget responded softly, "I don't think so. Ordinary life is truly wonderful." A short but powerful statement that silenced all speculation about her future in the entertainment industry. For Bridget, leaving the screen was not a loss, but rather a discovery of a more genuine happiness. Bridget Fonda's son, Oliver Elfman, is now 19 years old. Raised in a private and discreet environment, Oliver has rarely been seen in public. In August 2024, Bridget and Oliver were spotted together at Los Angeles International Airport, LAX, in another rare appearance. On this occasion, Bridget was noticeably not wearing her wedding ring, sparking speculation about the state of her marriage, particularly amidst the allegations against her husband. However, both Bridget and Danny have remained silent, offering no public comments about their relationship. Perhaps this choice gives audiences pause for thought. Has someone like Bridget Fonda, who once stood at the pinnacle of fame, made the wrong decision by retreating into a quiet life, leaving everything behind? What do you think of this transformation? From a glamorous star to a woman who now lives simply, indifferent to the world's judgmental gaze. Is it a form of liberation or a loss? Share your thoughts with us and let us honor Bridget's decision, no matter how different it may seem. Bridget Fonda's life is a story of glory, tragedy, and resolute choices. Once standing at the pinnacle of her career, she made the bold decision to walk away from Hollywood's bright lights in search of peace and simplicity with her family. Without noise or struggle, Bridget quietly stepped out of a dazzling world, leaving behind a sense of loss among her audience, but also deep respect. For sometimes, stepping back is not a failure, but a journey to rediscover oneself. A journey only the truly courageous can undertake. More than 2 decades have passed, yet her performances in Single White Female and A Simple Plan remain timeless monuments to her talent and influence. Bridget chose to leave behind a legacy through her own choices, to live authentically, overcoming the pressures and expectations that once surrounded her. So, what about you? What are your thoughts on Bridget Fonda's journey? Which role of hers left the greatest impression on you? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories about Hollywood legends. See you in the next video.